Girls, what surprised you the most when you moved in with your boyfriend? Guys are also afraid of spiders. In our family, I'm both the wife and the spider killer. I ended up with a husband who is an arachnophobe. Too bad he's non-returnable. That I can't poop and talk to her at the same time. Damn it. When I'm on my porcelain throne, solitude. I don't care that my blue shirt isn't washed or that there's a fire in the kitchen. Married for 50 years and still don't get this. How can someone sit on the toilet for than 10 minutes? If you eat like a man, you poop like a man. If you eat like a bird, you poop like a bird. Turns out he can sit at the computer, play video games from morning till night, without taking breaks for the bathroom or food. He doesn't even need light. I'm so immersed in this one game right now that I sometimes genuinely forget about the bathroom. I only remember its existence when my buddy goes on a break. My boyfriend says the same thing. Sometimes I leave the house for 6 hours and come back to find him still playing. I ask why he hasn't eaten or bothered to turn on the light. I forgot. Lol. At least breathing is a natural reflex. Where do whole buckets of loose change come from? That's nothing. Apparently, you haven't found his box of miscellaneous useless wires, cables, and adapters yet. I guarantee he has one. Excuse me, how is a DVI-D to D sub-adapter useless? How are 10 old power adapters and various length internet cables unnecessary? Sure, maybe not today. I moved in with my dad. The first surprise for me was that he never cooked or cleaned. He had a maid for cleaning, and he ate only at restaurants. Plus, living with him, I thought it was impossible for a man to pee without hitting the wall. But then I got a second surprise when I moved in with my boyfriend. Turns out he's a neat freak, loves to cook, and never pees on the wall. So during my teenage years, the main revelation for me was that all men are very different. Just like women. I realized this quite late, as I grew up surrounded by women and rarely interacted with men. Why eat 3 times when you can have 1 or 2 giant meals? Since I moved in with my boyfriend, I realized one thing. I love having someone help me with all sorts of household chores. It so happened that I used to live with pretty lousy roommates who didn't really like doing housework. To be fair, I'm a cleanliness freak, so my standards are a bit higher than the average person's. But my boyfriend, on the other hand, always helps me with whatever I ask. I also like that there's always someone around now, even if I'm just going grocery shopping. He happily keeps me company. Looks like you guys are doing everything right. Great opportunity to catch up on all the missed news and scroll through Reddit. Though, it's a bit inconvenient when you need to use the bathroom, and he's been in there for half an hour. My boyfriend is always shocked at how fast I poop. He doesn't understand how it's even possible to finish in less than 10 minutes. I only realized how often I touch my balls after living with a girl. I never paid attention to this until I moved in with my wife before we got married. She once asked, "Why are your hands always on your balls when you're lying on the couch? Are you afraid of losing them?" One time, I accidentally felt a strange lump down there. I went to the doctor and was immediately asked how I even noticed something there. I thought it was weird coming from a guy and replied, "Well, I was just bored." When you live with a guy, it constantly seems like he's annoyed about something, though in fact, he's not. The first 2 months after we moved in together, I was sure I had already exhausted him to the core, because he was always lost in thought and answered me in monosyllables. But he was just thinking about something else, and it had nothing to do with our relationship. Even though he's balding, he insists that I buy him volume shampoo. Honey, it won't help. La la la, I can't hear anything. I noticed a funny thing. When guys have a bad hangover, they sit in the shower and look sad. My fiance once sat in the shower looking so miserable like a drowned sloth. Oh yeah, there's a special kind of hangover where you sit on the floor in the shower, feel the water flow over you, and battle the pain from the withdrawal, all while reminiscing about the adventures of the previous night. And then the depression hits as you recall all the things you said/did, and you start thinking about how to clean up all that mess. My guy cranks up the air conditioner in the bedroom, wraps himself in 3 blankets, and then complains that he's too hot. I witness this crap every single night in the summer. I currently have the fan on max, the AC running, and I'm lying under 2 blankets with 1 leg sticking out. Maybe it's just my boyfriend, but I'm really surprised by how cooperative he is with household chores. He stopped leaving the toilet seat up. He hates vacuuming, but doesn't mind mopping the floor. When I cook, he washes the dishes. Honestly, I was afraid living together would be a problem for us, but no, our relationship has strengthened tenfold. Yeah, when I was a teenager, all I heard was how self-centered guys are. But then I was pleasantly surprised. People, it's time to drop the stereotypes. They hurt everyone. Thinking in stereotypes is not cool. I suspect that if I hadn't been fed a bunch of nonsense about guys during my teenage years, I would have behaved much less rudely towards them. That when a guy poops, his junk can accidentally touch the toilet rim. When I lived with 2 other guys before my husband, I never heard about this problem. But then we bought a house, and he said we needed to replace both toilets. I didn't understand why at first, and got really mad at him for spending a ton of money on elongated toilets. But then he explained it to me. It's called a witch's kiss, not to be confused with a Poseidon's kiss, which is also gross, but not as bad. I absolutely hate those small, perfectly round toilets you often find in old houses. You have only one option. You either pee or poop. Doing both at the same time is impossible unless you master the art of penis yoga. Every morning, when I wake up and go to my computer, I work from home. I find his pants, jeans, socks, and shoes on the floor. For reasons unknown to me, after I fall asleep, he undresses in the living room and leaves his clothes on the floor. If I stop picking them up, I think by the end of the week, we'll have a whole mountain in the corner. Have you considered just ignoring it? Maybe a whole mountain range will form, complete with valleys and minors. My boyfriend wanted to buy us a small bathroom rug. You know, the kind that wraps around the toilet. Why? So he wouldn't have to wipe the floor when he misses. Apparently, he thought those rugs were made for peeing on. Ew, what the heck? When a guy comes home, the moment he steps through the door, everything in his pockets, including change and other junk, gets scattered all over the apartment. Also, after moving in together, I realized that I really like wearing his t-shirts, and oh my god, how awesome it is to have someone who compliments your cooking. Lol about the pockets, that's a real thing. Having lived with different guys, including my current boyfriend, I realized that they are all different. Some are very lazy and messy, some are neat and picky, some have their quirky habits. Weird, right? It's like different people behave differently. How could that be? I noticed that my current boyfriend is much more particular about cleanliness than I am. Honestly, I've always considered myself a bit of a slob, so it doesn't really surprise me. When a guy has a cold, it's the end of the world. If he has a stuffy nose and a sore throat, it starts to seem like he has cancer. When I eventually have to go through painful and exhausting childbirth, maybe then I'll understand what it's like for a guy to have a cold for a day. We usually try to hide the fact that we're sick as much as possible. If a man admits he's sick, he's really sick. If I complain about my condition when I have a sore throat and a runny nose, I probably also have a fever of 102 and total exhaustion. I realized that until you live with someone, you don't really know them. My ex would crank up the heating, and then, when it got too hot, instead of turning it down, he'd open the window. When I asked why he did that, he'd say, "I'm hot." He also constantly picked his nose and wiped the boogers on our bed or the couch. I rarely get angry, but this was too disgusting. Damn, he was already 23. He likes my beauty products. Body scrubs, lotions, face masks, anti-aging creams. All of these are hugely popular with my boyfriend. We're just afraid someone will catch us buying them. I have a secret for you. I'm a guy who sometimes buys products meant for women. Here's what you do. Go into the store, find the shelf with the products you need, go to the cashier, exchange money for goods. That's it. The secret is not to care. The cashier doesn't care about you, and if you're worried your buddies will catch you and tie you to a pole somewhere in Wyoming, just tell them it's for your girlfriend/sister/neighbor. Oops, I'm being a bit snarky today. They have a bunch of rules. For example, a t-shirt isn't considered dirty until it smells, gets wet, or has stains on it. Before a t-shirt goes into the wash, they can wear it several times. Making the bed every morning, in their opinion, is also completely unnecessary. It's a waste of time. I say, what if we have guests? He says, why would they go into the bedroom and inspect our bed? Okay, even if they do, what's the big deal if it's unmade? Are you afraid they'll take a deep breath, think we sleep on it? So it's a battle of practicality and efficiency against beauty and wasted time. Though I'm a girl, I probably won't wash a t-shirt that has no stains or smells. If I wore it for half a day, then came home and immediately changed into pajamas and a hoodie, why not wear it again later? Especially if no one saw me in it the first time. The guys I lived with never cared about these things. Thank you for watching. What surprised your wives or girlfriends when you started living together? Maybe the ladies can tell us what pleasantly surprised or shocked them about cohabiting with a man? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We strive to create interesting content for you.